Joey the queen, ain't no keeping it realer. My stomach stay lean, but that booty be thicker. I'm cuffed with my hubby and snuffing your hitter. My pen is the clip and my finger the trigger. Megan the Stallion and Joey the Panther. I stand on the front lines, I'm holding the banners. I'm pressing the buttons and turning the channels to reset the system to challenge my grammar. Stage show mean, keep a crowd higher than the weed. Got Kendro heading up the team. Pro-black, but I'm still about the cream.
What's up, fam? How's everybody doing? What's going on, everybody? I just wanted to hop on and just give up some mental mind juice really quick and say what's up to the people. I also wanted to apologize about having to move my Pepper LaBeija live to tomorrow. So I just wanted to stop by and say hey really quick and just drop some love to you guys. I wanted to talk to you guys really quick about making sure that you never forget who you are, even in the midst of mental anguish. You never forget who you are. Thank you, Joanna. Thank you so much, baby. That song is Fin for the Fendi from my mixtape, actually. It's the second track on my mixtape, so you can actually go and listen to the whole song in full on all streaming platforms. Just go and look up Jordan Renee, JordanRanae, and you'll be able to find the entire mixtape. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Andrea. I really appreciate that you like the music. It's really nice. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. But yeah, I just wanted to check in with you guys because I know I was supposed to have a birthday party for Pepper LaBeija today. Here's the thing. My plan was that I was supposed to do a live today to celebrate her life and kind of recap Paris is Burning. And then tomorrow I was going to do a pre-recorded video that was all about Pepper LaBeija's life and her legacy and kind of put some of that out there just as a commemoration for the 73rd birthday. She would have been 73 this year. And I wanted to do that because, you know, somebody in my comments, Coach G specifically, he said that I reminded them of Pepper LaBeija. Now, I always saw myself as a junior LaBeija, personally. If you watch the movie Paris is Burning, the MC from the movie, the one who's on the mic the entire time, he is Junior LaBeija, right? To me, he's one of the most important people in the movie and didn't get an interview, but we'll talk about that tomorrow. But I wanted to do Pepper LaBeija specifically because Pepper LaBeija, in her identity, kind of reminds me a lot of myself in this cross-sectioned male and female intertwined type of presentation, right? It's a non-binary agender type of presentation, and I'm gonna do an entire live on that. I might actually do that tomorrow too. If not, I'm gonna do that Saturday because I do kind of want to have a conversation with you guys about identity and transition and how those two things can be alike and how those two things can be different, right? But that's not really what this conversation about. I just wanted to tell you guys to always be your most authentic self, even when you feel like it doesn't get you what you feel like you deserve or what you feel like is necessary to be where you want to be. Do you get what I mean? I want to just step in and remind everybody to, if you know who you are, if you know, first of all, I want to encourage everybody to really get to know themselves. And I want everybody to take a step out of the eyes of society. And I want you to just get to know yourself. I want you to understand who you are as an individual, regardless of what society will think, regardless of what society understands, regardless of what you previously knew, regardless of what you previously understood, right? I want to encourage you to take a step inside of yourself, and I want you to analyze all of the things that you love about yourself, and I want you to emphasize those things first. And I want you to take a look at the things you don't like about yourself, and I want you to figure out how you can be different and be better, and how you can change or improve those things. And I want you to ask yourself first, do you not like those things because you don't like those things, or because other people don't like those things? And I'm not talking about crazy stuff like, doing things that hurt people, or, crazy stuff like that. Let's not take an extremist view on it. I'm really talking about just things about yourself that people would consider to be abnormal or strange or weird or whatever. I want you to really look at yourself as a person, and I want you to ask yourself, is this strange to me? Is it something that I don't um is it something that I don't see as abnormal? Is it something that I don't understand, right? Because I've spent a lot of my life trying to reconcile my understanding of who I am with the normalities of what society gives, right? And I am just a person who is so far outside the basic understanding. And that's not to say that I'm above or below anybody. I'm just different. Do you know what I mean? I want you to always take the time to analyze what somebody may call a flaw and ask yourself, is it just an indifference? Is it a trigger for someone? Do you get what I mean? Sometimes somebody may categorize something as a flaw or as something that's wrong with you, and it's really just something that challenges what they don't want to change within themselves. Do you get what I mean? Sometimes you being you challenges somebody else being them. And that can have good and bad effects to it. Do you get what I mean? You can challenge someone to step outside of themselves and be greater and do the work and challenge their thoughts on what they understood as to be something, and, help them be a better person. Or you could channel something that is angry in them. Do you get what I mean? It's all about, regardless of the fact, be yourself, because you are you for a reason. You're made the way that you're made for a reason. You come the way that you come for a reason. We're all just a culmination of our own influences, right? We're all a culmination and of our experiences and products of our environment. Do you get what I mean? So there is a reason why everybody is the way that there is. And does everybody have things that they need to change and work on and grow with? Absolutely, 100%. Do you get what I mean? And then there are some things that people just want to destroy in you, which are actually lights in you. And I want you to really take stock of yourself and take inventory of yourself and realize what the difference is. Because it takes stripping yourself of a certain level of vanity to really analyze yourself as an individual and be like, okay, how does this serve me and how does this serve society? Right? How do I contribute to the overall well being of people? Right? Does this attribute of me contribute positively to my life and to other people's lives? And if it does, great. And if it doesn't, then that's something that you need to look at, because maybe it's a characteristic of you that can be good. It just needs to be tweaked and adjusted. Do you know what I'm saying? Not everything needs to have a black and white perspective. Okay? I think that not everything has to be one way or the other. I think that we need to find a way to blend our understanding and what works for other people, because sometimes we can get in our own way, right? And we see things that are normal for us in the privacy of our own boundaries, but yet in the world it can be conflicting to other people's natures. And that can be a balance of, maybe that's something you need to change, and maybe that's just something that somebody else is not ready to face. Who knows? But the mission that you have is to always encourage yourself to grow and be a better you. Take all of the experiences that you have gone through in your life that may be housing you negatively, and try to peel the cobwebs off of that, peel the dust, peel the dirt, peel all of the layers off of that, and really look at yourself and understand, what am I reacting to and how am I presenting myself in that reaction? right? I'll give you a personal example after I read a couple comments. With Ebony, she said, I sometimes feel bad because I'm not an image that they should see. I completely understand that more than you know. I live my life as someone who personifies an image that is not anything that people are used to seeing. I'm an image that people say all the time is damaging or that people shouldn't see or that is not okay for the masses. Do you get what I mean? Um, I am somebody who directly opposes and contradicts what society's understanding of gender is, right? And I'm going to talk about this later, but it's all just like there's something about everybody that is strange to other people. Everybody has that one thing about them that quote unquote everybody thinks is weird, right? But sometimes that is just a quirk that we have that makes us unique and individuals, right? Like, not everything is a flaw. Not everything is something that you need to work on. Sometimes there are things that you need to embrace. Do you get what I mean? Sometimes there are things that you need to embrace. Let me get another comment. Lauren says, you can help people by being open-minded and really listen when someone confides in you. Even if you don't agree with the person, try to understand. That's what I want when I talk to someone. Absolutely. I would love the exact same thing. I want to be able to engage in peaceful discourse and both of us have the goal to understand where each other's coming from. And even if we don't have a mutual focus at the end of it, we both are able to express and articulate ourselves in a way that we both feel heard and validated and respected in a way that, you know, we can share with each other because we can all teach each other. We can all grow. We all have places to grow and learn. Me, I am hypercritical of myself and I'm hypercritical of other people, but that is because I have extreme trust issues. Do you get what I mean? I am somebody who has been damaged by people. I have been irreparably pained by other people. So it's hard for me to give of myself fully. And the dichotomy in that is that I am a very open and loving person and I desire community and friendship and things like that. So a lot of the times I may have a tendency to overreact or I may have a tendency to second guess and side eye and judge what people's intentions are because if I see characteristics that I see in other people, then or that I've seen in my past, then I will automatically pull back, right? That is a flaw that I need to work on because I can prematurely push people away. Have I done that? I'm sure I have. But I am somebody who also needs to step outside of a black and white perspective of respect and the way that people treat people because I feel that I am someone who is very direct and I lay myself out on the line to a point to where I am very open and giving with myself when it comes to the way that I interact with people. I'm very I feel personally, this is just my perspective of the way that I interact with people. I feel that I lay myself out on the line and I kind of am very openly displaying what type of person I am. Do you get what I mean? Um I want to always be someone that is approachable and likable. Like I have a little bit of a people pleaser syndrome, yet I have major trust issues that allow me never to 100% be able to engage with other people. Do you get what I mean? So it's like while I'm able to be somebody who is open and public and loving and warming and embracing of other people, I don't know if I ever am really able to connect on a full level, and that's why probably all of your guys' affection towards me scares me because I don't know how to receive love at face value. Do you get what I mean? I don't know how to just take love and it be what it is and it just set in that, right? I don't know how to live in that life. Because I'm so used to the other shoe dropping. And usually when the other shoe drop, it kicks me in the face. Do you get what I mean? But my goal is to not hold the new people in my life to the old people in my life's standards or to their mistakes. Do you get what I mean? I have to learn to give people an open forum and enough time to truly show a character versus a issue or a mistake. Do you get what I mean? I've been told my I've been told a lot out of my life that I expect too much from people. Do you get what I mean? And I still don't know how I feel about that because I always respond to that by saying that I don't expect anything more than what they present. If they present a certain type of person to me, then I'm going to expect them to hold that person, right? Now, mind you, people fluctuate and change and they grow, and I understand that. But like when you tell me what your general character is, or if you present yourself to be a certain type of individual, mind you, we all grow and change and we go through things, and with obstacles and trials and tribulations, we all kind of fluctuate in the way that we handle things based on our stress levels. I'm understanding of that. But in a general sense, like in an overall perspective of what your character is, that doesn't tend to fluctuate. The base of who you are doesn't tend to change, right? And if you know that and you've analyzed yourself to a point to where you know who you are, you're able to present that to the public and really stand in that, then that's one thing. But then there are some people who think they are certain people. There are certain people who think that they are presenting a certain image to people or want to present a certain image to people, and then the way that they move in certain situations when you analyze them, it just isn't that, right? But you have to let people show you what they are. You know what I'm saying? I'm a person who I have to make sure that I do that. You know what I'm saying? I, you know, I am working on cleansing myself from toxic culture, right? Because I I mentioned the other day that people want to be so unbothered nowadays, right? People want to be so unbothered and they want to be so, I don't give a fuck and I don't care and this and that. And sometimes you need to be bothered to be human. Sometimes you need to give a fuck to get understanding, right? And I think with me, I need to give myself enough understanding and enough leeway to be comfortable being 100% myself, regardless of anything that is presented as contrary to that, right? I have to learn that I can't please anyone, right? I have to learn that I can only give people something to relate to, and they either take it and relate to it or they don't. It either sticks to them or it doesn't. Do you get what I mean? I just kind of sit here and just display my feelings, and I hope that I am relating to someone who is going through, even if you're not going through the same things that I go through. I hope that even in what you're going through, me telling you to always just stop and analyze and take full inventory of who you are in the moment helps, regardless of what you're going through. Do you get what I mean? I I am reminding myself to do that every day, right? I'm reminding myself to always take stock of what my true intentions are, what I want to present to the world, the person that I want to be seen as. And I always want to make sure that I am aligning with that vision, right? And that means being accountable for the way that you live in those moments. Do you get what I mean? Like, even if it's like, I'm trying to think of the best example to really drive home what I'm saying, but I think that I just want to drive home to you guys to never let other people take you out of your understanding of yourself, right? Never let other people influence the type of person that you become. However, at the same time, do not be so pig-headed and stuck in your own way that you are not willing to examine what other people see. Because sometimes people are willing to give you feedback or give you things that will actually help you grow as an individual, regardless of what you think at the time. You don't, you know what? We have blind spots for a reason. We don't always see everything, right? We don't always see everything that everybody is doing. We don't see everything that everybody is saying. We don't see the moves that everybody is making, right? And we don't always see everything that we personally are doing, right? And I want to allow the space for people to give me the feedback that I need and give myself the courage to not believe that everybody is trying to hurt me. Do you get what I mean? Because while I can understand that I am a product of my environment and I am a summation of my life experiences, that is not where the road ends. That's not where you stop. Do you get what I mean? Once you acknowledge that this is why you respond to things a certain way, or why you answer to things a certain way, or why you move a certain way, then that is where the journey begins. That is where the road that is where the road actually opens. That is where the work actually starts. Do you get what I mean? That is where you really have to take stock of yourself and decide, what am I going to do now? You know, how am I going to be great after this? How am I going to grow as a person after this? How am I going to make sure that everything that I do after this is in line with the person that I want to be, and the person that I want to present to the world? Do you get what I mean? And that's been my issue. That's been some things that I have had to be accountable for, because sometimes we can get stuck in, well, I just suffer with trauma. This is just what I've been through. I've just been through a lot. I've just been through a lot. And yes, we have been through a lot. People have been through a lot. Trust me, I have been through things that I guarantee some people can only imagine going through, right? But you have to take responsibility for your own growth in that. And this is me talking as somebody who is a manic depressant, somebody who battles thoughts of ending things. I battle really negative viewpoints of myself, right? I am in a constant war with my mind to get out of my own way and just be you, right? You are enough. Everything that you are doing is okay. You have the best intentions, and it is okay to make mistakes in those intentions. Just because you slip or you fall or you backslide or you make a mistake, it does not change the content of your character. It does not change the person who you really are. It does not mean that everything that you presented about yourself is a lie. And I also have to be accountable of the fact that I have to remember that about other people. Just because somebody makes a mistake, just because somebody shows a flaw, just because somebody does something that bothers me or hurts me or whatever, that doesn't mean that they're a bad person. That doesn't mean that everything about them is bad. That doesn't necessarily mean that everything about their character was a lie. That just means that I need to be more aware, and maybe they need to be made aware of that behavior, right? um I think that we need to have enough courage as people to, and I hate to be cliche about this, know when to hold them and know when to fold them. Because in that, you want to allow people the room for growth and understanding to not only be a better them, but to understand that, what they were doing may or may not have been something that was, you know, something that looked like a flaw. Do you get what I'm saying? And so I want to just encourage you guys to always think about the bigger picture. Do you get what I mean? Because at the end of the day, there are people who you can relay this information to, and they will take heed to the information. They will recognize their behavior, and they will make the changes, and they will understand what they contribute to a certain society, right? And then there are others who while you see good qualities in them, they just are who they are, and they're gonna be who they're gonna be, and that just is what it is. And, we as people learn how to tell the difference. I am learning to do that in my own life. And mind you, this has nothing to do with YouTube. This has nothing to do with anything that has happened in the past week. This is just me as a person, talking about standing in my own accountability so that I can grow into my own greatness, right? This has nothing to do with me talking about anybody or me referencing or alluding to anything. Like I said yesterday, it is all love. If we end up being friends at the end, cool. If we don't, cool. But it's all love, and I wish everybody the best, and I want everybody to be their best selves. What I'm talking about is the changes that I want to challenge myself to in the coming week, right? I want to challenge myself to be more open to a more well-rounded perspective of people that includes their flaws, right? I want to challenge myself to take time in the moment and analyze, is something a character flaw or is something a mistake? Is somebody intentionally hurting me, or are they doing something subconsciously? Because I live my life by a very important quote by Lauryn Hill. And she says, I pray more now to understand than to be understood. Right? And that is something that I constantly have to remind myself, and I fall short of that. There are times when I do not present myself in the most active of ways presentationally, right? I have a lot of things that I want to be and that I want to grow into and that I want to stand on, but I am also still fighting through my own understanding of the world around me. So while I want to be somebody who encourages others to be their best selves and to grow and to take a look at themselves and environments and, learn how to challenge their understanding to grow to the next level in their positioning, I have to do the same thing for myself, right? I can't give advice or whatever without being able to take it. And this isn't me giving advice. I don't want anybody to think I'm giving advice. I'm coming on here preaching. I'm coming on here trying to tell people what to do. I'm not trying to tell people what to do. I'm not trying to tell people how to live their life. But what I am trying to do is encourage people to step outside of their own understandings, right? Because that is something that I want to do for myself. I want to always not get stuck in my own way or my own understanding, because we don't know everything. We don't always know what somebody else is going through, what somebody else's intentions are, and we don't always take the time to see things from other people's perspectives. And that goes both ways when it comes to somebody being hurt and somebody hurting other people. You don't always know what's going on with somebody when they hurt you, and you don't always know what's going on with somebody when you do things and you don't think that you're hurting them, right? I think it's all about personal accountability and about taking stock of what you're presenting and what you're giving to the universe, right? I think it's about always making sure that you are walking in a level of love and peace and good intention. I think if we start with those things, then everything else can be a branch or a gathering under that umbrella, right? I think starting with the best intentions is always the most effective way to I'm so sorry, man. I am so freaking sorry. There's a lot going on right now, and I'm in the midst of a lot of different things happening. And like I said, I'm a small content creator with not a lot of resources. So I'm doing this on my phone right now, but I also have a lot of pieces moving and a lot of things going on. So I kind of got cut off, and I apologize for that. In that being said, I just, like I was saying, make sure that you are holding yourself accountable in your understanding of other people, and make sure that you are being your best self at all times, right? Make sure that when you are engaging with others, you not only analyze how they're coming off to you, but how you're receiving it. And make sure you try to find the common ground with others and with yourself to not take everything as a negative or as an attack or as a challenge, right? I think that in this day and age specifically, I think that we're all really challenging ourselves to grow and step outside of what our normal, what is our normal way of interacting with people, right? I think that we have gotten, like I was saying about being unbothered, I think it's a situation where you have to know when that is appropriate. There's a time and a place for everything, right? If somebody is directly hating on you and they're just presenting negativity in your life just for the sake of negativity, then that is the time to be unbothered. Do not let somebody else's just intentional spewing of hate take you out of your genuine character, right? But if somebody is coming to you and telling you, hey, what you did affected me, doing this hurt me, and I don't understand how, this, blah, 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 blah. If they're really trying to come to you and talk to you as another human being, then that's a conversation that you need to have. Do you get what I'm saying? But I also think that people who offend people should also take time to realize if they are coming off a certain way, right? Because I know that I have always been told that I have a very strong personality, that I have a very intense personality. So I've been in places where I have come off with the best intention, but may not have always given the best delivery, right? But like I said before, impact will always override intention. So you have to think 2 steps ahead and contemplate the impact of what you're intending to deliver to someone, right? Um, it's really not a simple thing, but it's something that is necessary for us to feel fulfilled and well rounded and whole within ourselves, right? I think that in taking the time to analyze who we are as people and what makes us react in certain ways to certain things, I think it can really have a positive effect on our interactional relationships, right? I think it can help us not only present our best selves to people, but also receive and register what other people can get from us. Does that make sense? Because I don't ever want to just present one side of an argument or just see one side of an argument. I want to always make sure that I am a type of person who is leveling out the playing field so that we can come to an even understanding. And even if there is an agreement to disagree, that there is a full understanding of both perspectives. Even if I don't agree with what you're saying, I understand where you're coming from. That's always where I want to get to, whether I am the person who's delivering it or receiving it, right? But I also have to make sure that I am aware that my reactions or the way that I deliver things can also be directly reflective of the things that I've been through or the things that I'm carrying or the things that I'm going through in that moment. And that I have to check the way that I'm coming off in the moment as well. Because sometimes people will only retain half of a situation. Do you get what I mean? A lot of times, I think people don't step outside of their own perception and they don't see how they're coming off in a moment. I think that a lot of people don't see the way that they're presenting themselves in a moment, causing somebody else to react in that way. Do you get what I mean? I am hoping that I can always, I'm hoping that I can always take stock of that, like I said, from both ends, because I don't want to just tell people, hey, watch how you talk to somebody, watch how you talk to somebody, watch how you talk to somebody, but then not be accountable of how you listen. Sometimes you need to be aware of how you listen because sometimes the way that you hear things is not the way that somebody said it. I've heard a lot of therapists and Ayanla specifically, y'all know how I love Ayanla. I have heard her say when she's having her guests interact with each other, she's had them speak their piece, and then once the other person is concluded, that she's asked the person who is being told, she asked them, what did you hear them say? What did you hear? Because sometimes what you hear is not always what the person who is speaking to you thinks they're delivering to you. And I think that we all need to restrain ourselves from having a level of ego to where we think we know every damn thing and we think we know exactly how somebody's coming, we know exactly how somebody moves. Now, mind you, if you just know the person and you know how they operate, you know how they move, they have a lot of things going on that, their character is predictable, then that's one thing. Kiki Wilson, are you going live later? I have an interview that I'm about to hop on. Possibly. I may be going live later. I want to do a Queens recap later because I was watching the new episode this morning, and I wanted to do a Queens recap this morning, but then I remembered that I would have the birthday party right after, and then I had to go and address some stuff, and I had to move everything, and I'm just hopping on here really quick just to show some love and just to kind of drop some things that were on my heart, right? So maybe I'll go live later and do a Queens recap or something. I also want to recap episodes 2 and 3 of Just Lauren. So one of those shows I'll probably be doing a recap of later. We'll see. But I think the whole point of me hopping on here right now is two things. Your ego will ruin your perception, and your delivery can diminish your message. And I need people to take account of that from both perspectives. Like, I need you to take hold of both of those things, right? Um um right, Kiki. When I say that, the way that you think somebody is coming at you is not always the is not always what that person is trying to deliver to you. But because of the way that you process information, the way that you receive it could be on a completely different wavelength. Do you get me? So your ego can diminish the way that you receive something. It can ruin your perception because you not all good news can be delivered in a pleasant package, right? Sometimes somebody have to tell you good things in ways that you don't want to hear them, right? Somebody may tell you something good for you and you don't want to hear it. And it's not something that may necessarily be aesthetically pleasing to the ear. But at the end of the day, you have to be grown enough and be selfless enough to, one, know what type of people that you have around you. Because if you have a bunch of people around you that you don't think will deliver you information with your best interest at heart, then you need to take stock of why you have those people in your life. And two, why the person would be giving you this information in the first place. Do you get what I'm saying? I think that we all need to learn to balance our perceptions. I'm gonna bring up Andrea real quick.
Hello.
Hi, honey.
Hi, how's it going? I love the chat. I
I
said
am
you
well. How are you?
good
I
you
just
should be
had
a
some things on my
therapist.
heart.
Sorry?
I was just saying that I had some things on my heart that I wanted to get off of my chest, so I just kind of hopped on live to, um, just drop a few words and send some love to people.
And you know what? You hit it on it's spot on. I um my one cousin, he always said something that stuck with me for the last 10 years. He said,
Hmm.
"Something can happen to you today that's quite intense and it could happen to you 6 months from now, and how you react to it can be totally different depending on the circumstances around it."
100%.
Yeah, and I think that's why relationships are very important that you have with people, and trust.
Hmm.
And also I think our society doesn't we like to jump to conclusions before we really sit back and listen. We are all like to talk a lot but not listen too much. And I think that you're as much as you're great at speaking, I think off the channel you have observed a lot in your life.
Hmm.
And I think that's wonderful.
Um, I think that I am someone who have rested on their traumas for a long time. I've
Yeah.
let my traumas be my crutch for a long time. I have gone through an extreme amount of things in my life. I've been through a lot
Me
and
too.
I've seen a lot of things and I've been through, you know, crazy shit in my life. And for a while, I just let that justify why I was angry. And
Yep.
it allowed me to crutch and move in certain ways that were really not like defensible. But
Yeah.
because I was somebody who was hurt, like, I felt like, okay, well, who cares, right? Like,
Yeah.
hurt people. Do you get what I mean?
Yes, yes, many times I've thought about that in the past, and my own actions when I lash out. It's because I look at the circumstances. It's because I was really hurting. Like, I had a important business meeting this morning, and the meeting went badly, but I
Mm,
didn't it didn't upset me because ultimately I'm not hurting right now, and I think that's part of it, is that I'm like, okay, I can see another solution or another way, another avenue. And that goes for people's personal life. I think that's much more important, is the inner dynamics with the people that you care about and the people that are, influences in your life.
100.
And that goes to whole other perspective. And honestly, you have to be able to revisit the past as well in order to have a different perspective.
Hello? Hello? Andrea? Can you guys hear me okay? Did I freeze? Is everything okay? Did I freeze? Hey, Joanna.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you good. You're not freezing or nothing. You coming in clear, girl. You good.
Oh, okay. That had me worried. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna drop this one down and come in. Hey, Andrea. Andrea? Hmm. Let me put you in the back, and then once you figure it out, drop a private chat, and then let me know that you figured it out, and then I'll bring you back up. But hey, Joanna, what's going on, love?
Hey, nothing. Like this live today, the live last night. I'm just like, all right. When are we getting ordained? Because at this point,
Not
you've been
ordained, child.
preaching. You've been preaching.
Not ordained, child.
You've
Listen,
been preaching. And I've been needing it. Like
listen.
sometimes I don't even know how much I needed to hear something until I hear it.
Oof.
And it
I
hits
have
you
been
and
through
it's like
that
I
so
didn't
many
even know I
times.
needed that, but now I got snot all over my face. So like what's really good? But yeah, it's just like it's so difficult sometimes finding that balance of, okay, I don't know this person, I should take them at face value, but last time I took somebody at face value, they obliterated my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
So how do I give you the benefit of the doubt while also opening up enough to you that you don't feel like you in this new situation, new connection by yourself, while also protecting myself from you just in case you turn out to be a piece of shit like the last 15 were. It's so hard.
Um, 100%. I battle with that all the time, especially as somebody who is extremely reclusive and not somebody who is easily open to being being in the midst of people, like I'm not an extremely social person in real life. Um Seeing me on the internet in this box is probably a lot more fun than what you would see seeing me out in the world. Because if you saw me in the club somewhere, I would be somewhere in the corner dancing by myself, doing my drinking my two step, and not speaking to nobody. But I would just be in my own little bubble, in my own the world, because interacting with people that I don't know is extremely hard for me. Like, I'm terrible at small talk. So I get what you mean, because I think we as people have an innate character trait to carry our old baggage into our new relationships. And we
Yeah.
have a consistent habit of being able to generalize everyone, right? Like, we generalize groups of people. We will generalize society as a whole. Like, all black people do this, all men do this, all women do that, all
Right.
men lie, all men cheat. Like, all of those types of things, we tend to generalize and not necessarily give people the individual rope that they should be allowed to hang themselves, right?
Right.
Now, in saying that, the difficulty in that is you have extended that rope several many times and you have been hurt several many times. You don't feel like cutting rope and cutting rope and cutting rope and cutting rope.
My
Not everybody
scissors
feels
is
like going through that all the
dusty.
time.
My knives are dull. Like, yeah, nah, I'm good.
Like,
Which is
girl, my
why at this
scissors
point I'm
are
like, yeah,
brittle,
y'all
they
can
are
stay over
broken,
there.
girl. My
I'm
sewing
good.
machine is dead. Like, I can't patch this up no more. Do you get what I mean? But that is the catch 22 of life. What we need to realize and just accept is that our life is built on catch 22s. It's like, should you be aware that you've been hurt by the last 10 people that you've let into your life? Absolutely. But should you also be aware that the next 5 people could also be the greatest people that you've ever met? Absolutely. But those two things are hard to reconcile next to each other. Do you get what I'm saying?
Very. Especially for me, and I know you get this being a Virgo. We like
Mm-hmm.
shit to be okay, it's black over here, it's white over here. What the fuck is a gray? It's like, but yeah, it's a lot of gray area with ourselves and with other people. It's like, yes, this people did this terrible thing and they did this terrible thing. That doesn't mean every time that they're a 100% terrible individual.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what they went through. You don't know what caused them to
100%.
feel that way or to do what they did. Maybe they did what they did and you don't one that felt bad about it. Maybe you took it the wrong way. So it's like you have to look at everything and analyze everything from a place of objectivity that is very difficult to have when you also are trying to come from a place of this is my knowledge base because these are the experiences I've had. It's like, okay, slow down. And at the same time, you can say, okay, you did something terrible because you are a terrible person.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to leave you over there and you can have fun with that. And I'm going to distance myself from you because I got to protect my sanity. Yes, I love you. However, I love me too. And at some point, I
Mm-hmm.
got to love me more than I love you because if you ain't going to do it, who going to do it?
100%. It's so hard to decipher the difference and when to go, but that is the risk of life. Like, that is the journey that we have to take with people. And I think that some people, it's easier to tell than others where they should be in your life. And, you know, they have this saying that, people come in for reasons, seasons, and lifetimes. Some people you can easily tell who those people are, and some people you can't. So sometimes you just have to go through the journey with people. But that is something that I battle with myself, because I am somebody who I can probably admit and say gets easily offended because I'm extremely insecure. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah,
And I have a trouble deciphering if somebody is just an asshole or if I'm just reading too much. Do you
right.
get what I mean? And I also have to challenge myself to be more aware of what that other person's intentions was, because I'm a type of person that if my spirit is vexed, I will check out immediately. I will just
Period.
immediately just
Same.
run.
Be like, where did you go? Bitch, I
Yeah.
exited stage left because I felt like I figured out who you were. And either I was going to bing, bing, bop, bop you, or I was going to go on about my business. And I got too much to lose to be trying to bing, bing, bop, bop today. So I went on about my business. You're welcome.
It's Listen, I'm trying not to be that type of bitch no more. I'm still fighting. Me and my flamethrower are still trying to, break up with each other. I am still trying to break up with my flamethrower. He has been one of the best men in my life, but he has also been one of the most destructive men in my life. Okay? So, ooh, look, my eyebrows are growing in. Now you can see a little something, something. Anyway, but I, I'm the type of person that if I just sense something that can cause me pain, I would just run immediately, right? And I am a type of person, I would just check out and I will not necessarily let the entire situation play out because I am so protective over myself because I know I'm very reactive.
Right.
I'm my best when I'm reactionary and I'm my worst when I'm reactionary, right?
And it's like, why am I gonna sit around and wait for the end? I've seen this movie before. I'm
Mm-hmm.
good. Bye.
Yeah.
And it's like,
And
yeah, but you don't know. You don't
it's like
know.
you don't know if it's the same movie though. Like it could be a reboot, it could be a parody, it could
Right.
be inspired by this movie, but it's a completely different plot. But just because you see the first 10 seconds and all of a sudden it looks like Scream, you think that you finna get stabbed. And
Right.
yeah, and it may not be that way. Do you get what I mean?
Right.
I have a tendency to just burn the bridge before somebody burns me. Like I am the type of person I would just run away, and because I'm so used to being reclusive, I'm so used to being alone, I'm so used to being by myself, I'm used to being my own best friend and sitting in my own world that I have gotten too comfortable being able to just cut people off like that because I know that I'm good by myself regardless. I know that I enjoy my own company. I know that I'm my own best friend. I know that I'm cool by myself. But then at the same time, what does that say about me as somebody who wants to also be an influence? Like, I can't just jump off the bridge and just fly off the handle whenever I don't necessarily agree with somebody or agree with the way that somebody is approaching me. Because just like I have done a lot of shitty things based in my own trauma, I'm sure that people who have done shitty things to me are based in their own trauma. Now, there are
Right.
just some people who are just shitty ass people, and we just need to let them be shitty ass people.
Correct.
Period. But you have to go on the journey to figure out which person is which. It's hard to always just decipher that from one action or one interaction or one conversation.
Especially when
So,
the intuition that you're supposed to have,
mhm,
you can't really trust anymore. Because you tried to
you're right.
trust it and you tried to trust it and you tried to trust it. And here come these people, no, I'm not like that. And you was like, all right, maybe what I'm thinking is off. Okay, I'll give them a chance. And they turned out to be exactly who the fuck your intuition was telling you they were. So now it's like, well, is this my intuition telling me that this person is full of shit? Or is this my trauma from other people telling me that this person is full of shit? Is this my fear talking or is this my spirit speaking to me?
I think for me, if you feel that at the beginning and then you go through it and you find out that that's what type of person they were, then that is your intuition telling you something, right? But I think for me, what I try to always remember is to take something from it. What am I going to learn from this situation? Because I think, especially in today's society is not encouraged to be vulnerable, right? We're all encouraged to be unbothered. We're all encouraged to not give a fuck. We all encouraged
True.
to be these versions of strong or these false impressions of what strong or strength is. And it's clouded our interactional judgment because a lot of us are defensive for no reason. A lot of us are coming off into the world with these demeanors and these personalities because we think that that's the way that we're going to look strong or look like we're like we have it all together or like we look confident, and that's not necessarily always correct. Do you get what I mean? I think that
Absolutely.
I feel like our generation has been taught to lack vulnerability. And our generation has been taught to not give people the vulnerable side of you because they will take advantage of it. Do you get what I mean? But there's always two sides to every part of that. It's like you're either going to get an asshole or you're going to get somebody who is amazing, one way or the other. Do you get what I mean? But you
Right.
have to go through the journey to figure that out. And I think that if your intuition is, if you listen to your intuition in any way, you will be able to figure out before you get too deep what, like, what is wrong, like if there is something wrong. You know what I'm saying? Pay attention to the red flags. Pay attention. Because, like, oh, Rage Monster, that is gold. Anxiety versus intuition.
Yes.
That is exactly what it is. Some things are just us being nervous and being like, oh God, are you an asshole? Or are you gonna do me wrong? Are you da 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 da? Or is it just your intuition saying like, pay attention, listen up? Because, like, here's the thing with people who are not supposed to be in your life. The thing about people who are not supposed to be there,
I feel
there are
like you're
going
gonna
to be
preach again.
multiple times where they show you they aren't supposed to be there,
Facts.
right? It's not all just going to hit you at one time. It's not. Even if the interaction was 10 years or 10 days, there is going to be multiple red flags that you are going to see that are going to tell you, pay attention to this. This could be trouble. This person is definitely not supposed to be around, or they cool.
And I've had to learn that in situations with people who not supposed to be there, at some point, they gonna do something that's detrimental enough where I have no choice but to be like, all right, that's it. And it's like,
I'll put
well,
it
if
like
you would have
this.
just went on, kicked them out your life the first time, you wouldn't have had to suffer through this. But you kept trying to hold on, so had to remove them. Had to remove them somehow because you weren't gonna do it no other way. So it's like, all right, I give up. I surrender. You right? Okay. All right.
You want to hear a great example of this, what we're talking about right now? Did you watch Girlfriends? I'm sure you did.
Of course.
Joan and Tony's relationship is a great example of this.
It is.
If you think about the dynamic of their friendship and the way that Tony treated people based in her own trauma, right?
Yeah.
Tony did a lot of shitty things, but you can clearly see that Tony was a heavily affected woman. But she never took stock of herself in time to realize the way that she treated other people, right?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Joan was the person who saw the good in her, saw the best in her, saw the good, the good person that she could be, and she let that cloud all of the things that Tony
Yeah.
did to her that were detrimental to her, right?
Yeah.
Now, in me saying that, I'm not saying whether she should have completely gotten rid of Tony or not. I think that along the 7 years, six seasons that they were on the show together, it there showed you a lot of times and places where you probably should have cut that person off, taken a break, and then maybe come back, especially in their case. Because
Right.
I don't think that Tony was all bad. I think that Tony needed help. And while Joan tried to give it to her, she wasn't ready to receive it. You know, there's something that I say to my husband all the time. I always say that my husband only believes a second opinion. Do you get what I mean by that?
Yeah.
I always say that my husband never believes it when I say it. But if he hears somebody else say the exact same thing that I say, all
Right.
of a sudden
He's
it's
like,
gospel.
oh yeah, that makes sense. Nigga, I told you that 20 years ago, dog.
It happens all the time. Tony wasn't going to receive that message from Joan being the friend to her through all the times that she's done crazy shit and just forgiven her and enabled her bullshit. The only way Tony was going to get that message was if Joan cut her the fuck off, because it forced her to self-reflect. Like, sometimes you have to give people that tough love and give them that realization of like, look, I've tried to give it to you in a way where we can still, hash it out and be cool and it be all lovey-dovey. And then some people you have to let learn the lesson on their own, and then make the decision whether you want to re-enter that person's life later or not. Do you get what I mean?
That was so well said. And it
Oh,
makes
girl, I
so
thought I
much
froze
sense.
up.
It's
Girl, don't do
like,
me like that. I was scared. I'm sorry.
no,
Thank you. Girl, it
nah,
got
it was just like
mad quiet. I was like, whoa, what happened?
that was
Sorry.
just it. That was it. Mic drop past the collection plate. Bring the praise dancers in. That was it.
Time for benediction. No.
Period. May the Lord watch between me and thee while we're absent one from another. Amen. That's it.
Dead ass. But like, I don't. I mean, it's funny that you say that, because I will say that my history with religion has always been very complex, right? And
Same.
the general things that people want you to learn from religion, or the general pastimes that like people want you to take from religion as it pertains to being a guide for your character, I feel like all the things I've tried to learn about being a good person, um the lessons that like people have tried to shove down my throat with religion, I've learned through just life experience, right? I've been in places where like I've been in a church and I've seen, them give this sermon, and I'm like, you know, I hear everything that you're saying. I don't necessarily relate to it in this context, because me and my homegirl Keisha went through that last week, and I really had to have this conversation with her too, because she had to tell me about myself when I came off to her like that, and then we had to figure out how we can have mutual understanding within each other and balance out the positive and negative, blah blah blah. Like, that's kind of, I get my
So
biggest life
much.
lessons from the weirdest places. That was my point of saying that. Not to put down religion or say that you can't learn anything from religion. I just think that people take their life lessons from different sources. That's really my whole point of
Yeah.
saying that.
And I mean, I've Southern girl, born and raised in Northeast Arkansas, been Southern Baptist my whole, well, used to be Southern Baptist my whole life, grew up captain of the Bible quiz team, and my mama was a Sunday school teacher, and my godparents taught Sunday school, and so that's all it was. And even I can remember being 7, 8, and being like, but this doesn't make sense though. This says this over here, and then in the New Testament it says, but that's not the same. Well, just pray and ask for understanding. Ain't no understanding, bruh. They're diametrically opposed. There's no way that you can get this to make sense. If you are supposed to be this biblical scholar and you're the shepherd that I'm supposed to look to for guidance, and you have no answers, either you got a problem, or I got a problem, or this is a problem. And I've analyzed this
Excuse
enough in my own mind using my own logic to
me.
know that I ain't the one with the problem. Bless you.
I
So it's a
completely get
problem
where you're
somewhere
coming
else.
from.
And if you can't make it make sense, I'm out.
I completely get where you're coming from, because I've had that same ambivalence with religion for a long time, where I've had questions that I've never been able to get an actual answer to, and that's always caused a reason for pause for me. But in me saying that, that is not me saying that religion is bad, or people shouldn't take what they want from religion. I think that religion has been very beneficial to certain people, and if that is how you got what you needed to get, then I'm all for it. But not everybody is going to get what they need from a church, just like not everybody is going to,
Period.
kind of like how college is not meant for everybody to find their
Right.
success in life.
Right.
Church is not necessarily the way for everybody to find their righteousness.
Right.
Do you get what I mean?
Like if you can get it from that, great. Congratulations. A
Absolutely.
round of applause for
100%.
you. If you can't, don't feel bad, because it's not for everybody. Find it through whatever avenue you need to find it through. The point is not how you get there. The point is getting there.
Exactly. That's what it is. The point is getting there. And regardless of how you get there, we all want to get there in the easiest, safest, less damaging, less emotional, less painful way possible. But that's just not everybody's journey. And that's
Right.
not the way that we're meant to learn every lesson. Sometimes we're meant to go through some hard shit to really get the point of what we're supposed to learn. Sometimes you're not going to learn it by just having a conversation with your homegirl. Sometimes you're going to have to learn it by losing that homegirl. Sometimes you're going to have to learn it by that homegirl losing you. Like, just like how that person, just like how you may not realize how you're treating somebody until they leave your life, you may not realize what type of person that person really was in your life until you leave them. Like, it's all different types of perspectives that can plague a human interaction, but we have to be selfless enough to go through it, because they say that anything worth having is worth fighting for, which is a problematic statement for me, but I also find truth in that because
Ain't it
you don't.
though? I thought it was just me. I'm like, but what I got? Why we gotta fight, bro?
Why we gotta fight? Like, right? Like, it's like, do you watch The
I
Real?
feel you.
Do you watch The Real?
Yes, something less
There's
now than
less now
when
than you used to.
Tamar was on there. Because after that whole kerfluffle, I was like, now what now?
No, I get what you mean. For me, it was I started side eyeing with the Tamar stuff, and then I just kind of really checked out with the Amanda Seales stuff. But that's another story.
Yeah.
That's not why I brought this up. I brought up The Real because there was something that Adrienne Bailon said that applied to this that really made sense to me. She was like, "Listen, I don't understand the whole ride or die concept
Why
when it
we gotta
comes to a
die?
relationship. Like, where we riding to and why I gotta
Right.
die?
Right.
I'm confused. Like, if you're somebody who has my best interests at heart and cares about me as a person and loves me, then why would you put me in a situation where we gotta be
Right.
riding out and possibly dying?"
Right. In the first place.
So I understand the problematic nature of something worth having is worth fighting for and things like that. But then again, like, it also plays into that thing, like, if you have a friend who you've never had a disagreement with, you've never had an argument with, you've never had any type of discourse with, people always lead you to question, is that really your friend?
Right.
And I wonder about both sides of that, because what is actually wrong with having people who you are just similar to and have that much synergy with? Like, what is wrong with that? But then at the same time, I can also see it from the perspective of, okay, well, a friendship is not really tested until, or a relationship, friendship included in that, a relationship is not really solidified until it is tested. Do you
Right.
get what I mean?
And even with that, I feel like because I am kind of a walking contradiction in the sense that I'm an elected official, so I have to be out and about around people, super friendly. Yeah, hey girl, I can relate to you. I can relate to you. I can relate to you. Thank y'all for your vote. But I don't really like people in general, though. Like, it's
Girl,
like, yeah, I would rather
you
be at home with my socks on, eating some
you are
chips,
testifying to the
watching
pastor right now.
Justifiably Jordan, and chilling.
Stop.
Like, I don't have to be out and about, but I know how to put that facade on when it's necessary. And sometimes it's
I
necessary. But
and I don't want to
going
necessarily make
through,
it negative by calling it a facade. I think because I have that switch too. Like, I'm that type of
yeah,
person. Like, it's really that ambivert type of nature where you're where like you can be extroverted but you're based in introverted tendencies, or vice versa, just depending on the nature of your being, right? I'm the type of person, I'm the exact same way. I don't like being in large crowds. I have a I have a mild to mid case of social anxiety and agoraphobia. So like I'm really not good in crowds like that. I'm really not good with people. Like people make me nervous. But that is, that is rooted in a lot of trauma, right? And so it's hard for me to reconcile how I'm able to not be able to feel all the way comfortable in large crowds, yet I am somebody who is only going to be happy in a space where that is considered the entertainment industry. Like all I've ever wanted to do is entertain people. All I've ever wanted to do is make music and have a radio show. All I've ever wanted to do was host 106 in Park. But yet to do that, you have to be a people person. So
Right. It's like, but how, so you
it's
mean,
like you
but
develop a
I can't,
switch. You
yeah,
develop this like people didn't really start this conversation really kind of became a thing when the whole Sasha Fierce, when Beyonce steps on stage, she's a different person and she becomes this,
yeah,
ultra presence and all of that stuff. And then when she's off stage, she's,
she just
this
her.
shy and introverted type of person. We weren't having those conversations specifically back then. It was just like, oh, I have an alter ego that does everything for me, right? It's more so like, no, it's just, you just have another side of your personality that is willing to get the shit done or is willing to push beyond your boundaries. Just because that's where you're rooted doesn't mean that's where you're going to stay, right?
And the
Just
craziest
because
part
you're
about
rooted in
that
that
for
doesn't mean that
me,
you can't grow out of that. You know what I'm saying?
right. And the
Seeds take
craziest part
root, but they
about that for
eventually grow
me is
out of the
like,
ground.
I
You get me?
don't, I feel like, because I'm 34 now. So I'm just now over because I've been through a lot of traumatic shit in my life, but specifically over the last 3, 4 years. And I'm realizing now that extrovert ain't even, I got so comfortable in it that I'm like, all right, yeah, this is me. I'm just a friendly person. I just love people. It's like, no, bitch, you just don't like yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you so delightful and you so happy and you love being out and about around people, even though you have hella anxiety while you doing it. You can cover it up because you've been doing it for so long. It's second nature to you, but your actual self just don't want to be at home alone by yourself.
Exactly. I
So I've
completely
been
understand
learning
that.
to sit at home by myself, undistracted, not doing nothing but saying, hey, self, why don't you like this about you? Did somebody tell
Mm-hmm.
you that you shouldn't like this about you, or do you really not like this about you? What's actually wrong with that trait of yours? What's actually
Let
wrong with that physical trait of yours? What's actually wrong with that personality trait of yours? Well, nothing. Why don't you like it? Oh, well, now I remember my cousin when I was 3 said such and that stuck with me. Or my father said this about this person that he didn't like. And I felt like that's why he didn't like me because he wasn't ever around me. So that's why I didn't like that. So it's like, all right, it's necessary. It's uncomfortable, but
Yes.
it's so necessary because you have to know yourself, your
Yes.
actual real self, not the self you put on to be cute for other people,
Mm-hmm.
your real self. That's been my
Listen.
journey over these last few years. And it's like, now that I think about it, now that I look at me, now that I sit with me, I'm a bad bitch and I fucks with me. If y'all don't like it, okay. Figure out what about you that you don't like that's causing you not to like me.
Mm-hmm.
Cause it ain't me.
I think you just said something that really hit home for me because before I went live on this video that we're on right now, I was 2 seconds away from deleting my entire channel. I'm just going to be 100% frank about it. It was either delete my channel or get on here and use my pain to inspire somebody. right?
So you want to
Hey,
square
babe.
up today or tomorrow?
Oh, but ha! You know
Cause
where
you
to
could have
find me.
never
I'm in the
thought.
YouTube parking lot.
You
You
could have
know when
never
I
thought
smoke. No.
I was gonna drag you like somebody need to do Erica. Cause
We
you
want
could have
the
never
smoke, the
thought.
smog, the steam. No. No. But let me say, like, that is where the benefit of having that extroverted side comes into play. That is where that comes into play because my introvert was working on me, telling me, how am I going to be able to inspire people when you are still battling this yourself? Bitch, you don't fully believe in yourself yet. You don't
Right.
understand why people take what they take from the words that you say. You don't even feel like you are the person who should be delivering these messages. You just know that you have an inclination to do it, right? So I am still battling with the validity of my own place on this platform. However,
Right.
the opposite side of that is me being that extrovert is causing this to happen right now. The comments that I receive on my page, the comments that I receive on my videos, the conversations that I have with women like you, with people like you, like that is what that is the benefit of that. Like I
Yeah.
have to remind
That's the
myself that
point.
sometimes it's bigger than my own perception. And this channel is bigger than me. I had to get out of my own way and say, bitch, it's not about whether you think you're good enough or not. There's 580 something people on your page who think that you're good enough for a reason. There are people who not only because here's the thing. This rebrand of my channel is some scary shit for me. Let me just be real because like I said, there are a lot of people who found me talking about the tea, the gossip, and the mess, and me throwing shady comments and doing this, that, and the third. And yes, all of that is a part of me, and I like to have fun and talk shit and be, blah, 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 blah. I love kitchen table talk, girl. I love it. However, it needs to eventually serve me in some type of way.
Right.
And I felt like in this rebrand of my channel, I felt like I was going to abandon all the people who came over here in the first place. Like I felt like I was going to abandon the reason why people came over here in the first place because people met me talking about housewives. People met me talking about reality TV. People met me doing all of these things. And now that I'm like, no, that's not what we're doing anymore. No. Like I got you. I was really battling myself because I felt like I reeled y'all in and then I lied to you,
Like a
right?
bait and switch, like yeah, you thought you
Like
was
a
coming for
bait and switch.
this, but
That's really what I
haha,
woke up
bitch,
this morning
no.
and I felt like.
You thought you was coming for the drag and the tea, but nah. We actually finna grow over here.
And
Put your
that's
big girl
really like
drawers on. We
I
finna
woke
do
up
some
and I felt like a
self-improvement
liar.
today. You're welcome.
That. It's very that. It's very that. And I felt like a liar because I was, like, mind you, I am somebody who loves witty repartee, right? So I love the back and forth and the fun and the shade and the laughs and the jokes. I grew like I'm a 90s baby. So I grew up on the whole stand-up comedy and joning and janking on each other and
Right.
reading. Like I'm from that era. Do you know what I'm saying? Where that was just a part of culture.
Right.
But of the same token, I'm at a place where I need more than that to be fulfilled. And I didn't want to, like, eventually, I need more than that. Now, I did say from the beginning of my channel, I will say this, I did say from my first video, I said that I wanted to take a more empathic approach to YouTube, right? I thought that I was going to be able to blend the shade, the tea, and the mess with this and the stuff that I'm doing now and the real impactful. Like I thought that I was going to be able to pull that out of all of the things that I was being shady and funny about, right?
Yeah.
Do I still think I can do that? Possibly. But what I don't agree with is the toxicity of certain things. Like I said before, I'm all about agreeing to disagree, but I would rather have a peaceful discourse to disagree than argue with you just to not get
Right.
anywhere. Right? And I just felt like that was all people wanted from me. That's the point of me bringing all of this up. I thought that was all people wanted from me, was that extrovert, was the people who everybody thought was shady and, was giving these witty comments and, was just so snappy and said the craziest shit and, oh, Jordan, you is so wild, da 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 da.
And
And
I
yes,
can
I am that.
relate
Like,
to
I say
that
crazy shit. Huh?
I said I can relate to that just because I notice a difference when on like my personal Facebook that I've had since 2005, when you still had to have like a college email to be able to get
Yeah.
on Facebook.
Love that.
Like
Good times.
people are like, "Oh yeah, she shares funny memes and she says witty shit and she got a little slick mouth and I like that." And then there are classmates of mine. I went to a mostly white school. Like everybody except for the people that were from the town that I was from was white at my high school and at my
Mm.
junior high. And so now I have classmates who, over the last decade or so, pop up. But why do you have to say that like that? Why do you got to bring that up like that? Why do we have to talk about this? I didn't know you felt that way. It's like, well, who the fuck did you think I was, though?
Mm-hmm.
And there are certain issues and certain topics that don't necessarily relate to me that I'm still going to fight for,
Mm-hmm.
because it would be very hypocritical of me to look at my white friends and be like, why do you not care about Ayanna Stanley? Why do you not care about Tamir Rice? Why do you not care about Mike Brown? When if I see an issue involving somebody who's trans and I'm like, well, that ain't got nothing to do with me. Why should I care? Then why do you expect other people to care about issues that got something to do with you and not them?
I've said this
How
exact
dare
same
you?
thing before.
Like, no, it's people, period. And that's it.
I have said this exact same thing before.
And I don't understand how people don't understand that. So it's
It's
like I
hard.
get you saying, yeah, you want this to be a place of delight and people like a certain thing out of you. And it's like I struggled with that at first when I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I don't know if I should post this because people gonna be like, I'm gonna lose some people. It's some folks that I went to high school with that I'm real cool with still. That's
Mm-hmm.
gonna look at this and be like, well, dang. But it's like, well, fuck you then.
Yeah.
Because if you don't get it, if you don't like it, we can talk about why you don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, when we get to the root of that, either you're gonna be like, dang, I am a little problematic. I need to check myself and my uncles and my aunties and my cousins and my kids and whoever the fuck else. Or
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna be like, well, nah, you just too sensitive. And I'm gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna be that. And now I see you. So you can be that over there and I'm gonna be that over here and it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, it's like I can't in good conscience and please myself just sit here and not say nothing no more. Like I can't. Like it's killing me inside to not be able to say what I need to say and do what I need to do. Cause I'm looking out for how you might feel and thinking that you might perceive me differently. If you feel like I'm a different person, cool. This is the real me. You like it or not? You do? Great. What's up? You don't? Either we can square up or you can go on about your business.
I completely understand that. I battled with that yesterday because um I didn't want to come off contradictory or hypocritical, because while I am someone who acknowledges when something is funny, like we all know that Giselle is tacky as hell. That is funny. It is funny that
Right.
she can't dress. It's funny. But also at the same time, I care more about her being an amazing mom because anybody who can raise three daughters to be that openly expressive and that free to communicate with
Right.
their parent
That
has to be doing something
emotionally
right.
intelligent has done a good job at some
Yes.
point.
Like her daughters are extremely emotionally intelligent and aware, and they're present, and um they are very comfortable, and they feel very safe with their mother. If I don't like, she may not be a good friend, but she is a damn good mom because she's created the safe space that she cannot allow for Karen Huger. She allows that for her daughters. That I will say. See, this is the type
Right.
of conversation that I wanted to have regarding reality TV, right? But the problem with having this type of conversation is that the toxicity of the fandom only allows you to be one way,
Right.
right? And if I were to give both of those comments in duality, a lot of or in tandem with each other, a lot of people would think that I'm fake because they would be like, "Well, do you like Giselle or do you not? Do you think she's this or do you not?" And I think that it has not reality TV specifically, but I'm just saying the way that society tends to digest things now, it's like
Everything is so polarized.
it's polarized and you can only be one way or the other. You can't like two things cannot exist in the same space if they do not agree with each other. And that is not true.
Right.
That's not true. Two things can be opposing at the same time.
Right.
Like Giselle cannot Giselle can be a terrible ass friend and be a great ass mother at the exact same time.
Right.
Like, look at her friendships, but look at her daughters. Like, she's doing
Right.
something right somewhere. She may not be
Right.
able to keep no damn man nor no friend, but she knows
But them
how
girls
to
good.
raise children. She knows how to instill something in her daughters that is going to carry them for the rest of their lives.
Right.
That
And
is
even
something that
in
I
that, like
appreciate.
she's awkward around other people's kids too, but it's like around hers, baby, she
I
good.
relate to
You
that
can look at
though.
them girls and be like, yeah, they Gucci.
I relate to that though. I'm really awkward with other people's kids, but I love mine. Honey, mine is easy, but I'm awkward with other people's kids. I'm so awkward. I'm one of those kids who like one of those people who like holds people's babies like I've never seen a baby in real life before. Like I hold it
It's
way
like,
out
what am
here
I
and
supposed
shit,
to
and I'm
do
like,
with
oh my
it?
god, what's
It's
gonna
like, but you
happen?
got
Are
a
you gonna
kid.
break
It's
if I
like, I
move too
know,
far?
but this is a different kid. So what,
Yeah, like it's not
I
my
don't know what to
child, so
do.
I don't know. But I'm going to I want to extend this into another conversation that I want to have tomorrow because this made me think about something that I want to talk about with the people. And I'm going to do this after Pepper LaBeja's birthday party. So it's going to be sometime tomorrow afternoon, maybe tomorrow evening. But I want to do a live about the complexities of social media and how it has ruined the duality of humanity.
Yeah,
And I hope that you can call in tomorrow because I would love to talk to you about that because
I'll
us
be
having
here.
this extroverted introverted conversation really kind of sparked me wanting to have this conversation. And um I, I hope that we can expound on that some more tomorrow. But I have really appreciated you calling in because you have touched me. You have said some
Oh,
things today
no, now.
that, huh?
I said, oh, no, now.
Not, no, for real. Like, you said some things on this live that have genuinely made me think and be like, well, damn, like, I need to pay attention to that too, because I do that too, or I can be like that too, or, like, I understand exactly where you're coming from and I understand exactly where you've been. I understand exactly where you are because a lot of the things that you spoke about today, I'm fighting through right now in this moment as I speak to you on this live. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I am still figuring out a lot of the things that you're speaking about coming through. So I am inspired by your journey of self-discovery. Do you get what I mean? And I want to thank you for calling in.
Same, first of all. Like I said last night, if you could have saw me sitting on that couch in my good old $15 super comfortable Walmart nightgown with them
I
tears
live.
running down my face
Walmart is the shit.
and me having to run and get tissue, I'm like, why she doing this to me today? I didn't even know this ain't even what I came here for. Like, this ain't even what I thought this was gonna be. I thought she was just gonna say fuck these housewives because I'm on another level and that was gonna be it. But it's like you crawled into my soul and was like, all right, this is what I'm saying that we finna talk about, but this done led to this. So fuck it, let's go. And it's literally like you crawled into my soul and was like, all right, poop, here go this one, poop, here go this one, poop, here go this one. And this is how you need to deal with it. I was like, motherfucker.
You so damn silly. I appreciate
So
you.
I
Thank you
live.
so
I appreciate you so much. Like I said, oh, you have no idea. Knowing is like, all right, because that discovering you, the actual you, and healing all that childhood trauma and fixing all this stuff that caused you to make the decisions that you make and redoing all the bullshit that you taught yourself, knowing that, okay, you built this person because that's who you needed to be at the time for survival purposes. But now it's time for you to thrive. So you need to let that person fall off and be this person who you really are. And you still figuring out who the fuck that person is. It's a journey.
You are so right.
But it's so amazing though.
You are so right. It has been it's been an amazing journey and it's been a scary one because
Yeah.
in my journey I realized that there's been two things that have happened where, presentationally speaking, I'm a lot different than a lot of people. I'm not your average bitch when it comes to what people think about when they see women. People don't usually think about this packaging when they think about what a woman is considered to be, right? But then on the opposite side of that, who I am as a person, I never thought this side of me, I never thought would relate to so many people and it would translate to so many people. I love having this type of conversation. And mind you, it's all a journey, man. Like you said, it's all a journey. I'm still figuring a lot of this stuff out. I'm still battling with a lot of things. I'm still holding myself accountable for a lot of things, and I'm still taking stock of my own
Right.
behaviors and my own reactions and my own journey, and I'm still checking myself.
You
You know what I'm
caused me to
saying?
do that a couple weeks ago. I don't remember which live it was, which conversation it was, if it was a pre-record, but you were speaking to your journey of self-identity and you were like, I'm not finna be put in this box. Well, you not feminine enough. Well, you not girly, but you a female though. And you were like, you can't tell
my view
me
of the
ain't no tomboyish
yeah.
biological women. And I was like, shit. First of all, that's a fact. Like, I know plenty. So it's like, that's you, as me as a person, is like, you have to sometimes shut the fuck up. And me being from Northeast Arkansas, like I said, born and raised, get your head out of this area that you've been in. Because I've traveled and I know the world is bigger than America and America is bigger than Arkansas. And the little stupid, small-minded, bigoted bullshit people and mindsets that are here. And I like to consider myself, worldly and woke and all this shit. But sometimes it's still like, bitch, you still got a couple questionable ass tendencies yourself, start using your mind and start thinking for other people and not just yourself, and be open to people's opinions and listen to people who actually going through the shit. Because I can say all day, well, yeah, you should do this way and you should act like this and you should feel like this because this is how these people feel. It's like, bitch, you don't know how them folks feel. You ain't them people. Like the audacity
Dead
of
ass
me
though.
to
Like
feel
dead
like
ass
I know
though.
how people feel when I ain't them people.
I know exactly what you mean though. That's why
So I
I never.
appreciate you for helping me grow in that area as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I think um for me it's about challenging myself because I am not someone who is presentationally digestible in a way that you see me and you see exactly what I want you to see, right?
Right.
And so that has caused a lot of hesitation and, you know, kind of pullback for me because I don't know how to fully engage and be myself because a part of me is always battling with that. Do you need to present in a way that draws the people in? And then should I have done the bait and switch with my look instead of my content? Like, that's really what fucks me up. It's like, should I have come on here with the full beat, snatched wigs every day, nails done, hyper femme, spaghetti straps, silky naked skin showing, hyper femme? Like, none of that is me, right?
Right.
Like, none of that is me and at my core, but yet that is what people see women as. And that's what I'm asking you to recognize me as.
Right.
But yet, it taught me that my mission is to break the stereotypical perception of what women
Right.
are. Like, that goes beyond the place that women hold in society. It goes beyond women are just meant to be in the house and women are just supposed to meant to be bigfoot and barefoot and pregnant and just stand behind a
Right.
man and just take
Just
care of the
be
house and
cute
the
over there
family.
in the corner.
It's right. It's more than women being subservient to men. It's also women are just as different and as complex as any other group of people. Women
Right.
are just as different and complex as men, as black people, as Panamanian people, as queer people, as gay people, as trans people. While there may be unifying tendencies or characteristics that can lump us all into a group, every single one of us are different.
Period.
And it made me realize that battle within myself was actually a sign that I needed to take it as a mission to challenge those stereotypes. I don't need to conform. I need to reaffirm that there are more. Even if I am the only masculine trans woman on earth, I am different than every other trans woman on earth. So don't lump me in the same category as
Right.
everybody else. There are 30 billion people on the damn earth. I'm sure I'm not the only one.
Right.
And even if I am, at the end of the day, trans women are women. Period.
Period.
Period. So
Periana.
you can't sit here and
Yes.
say that y'all don't know a masculine woman. Like, studs don't exist. Or like butch women don't exist, or like masculine women don't exist.
Right.
Stud or not, butch or not, lesbian or not,
Right.
like tomboys in general do not exist.
Right.
Do you get me? So it's like, if we're going to subscribe to we are all created equal, then we need to make sure that that is always across the board.
Right.
And we need to make sure that all races are seen as equal citizens. All women are seen as women, transgender or not. All men are seen as men, transgender or not. All
Right.
people are seen as equal because here's the thing. The duality of that conversation is that people think that saying we are all created equal is just it. Like, that's just where it stops. Just like when
Right.
people say, I don't see
I don't
color,
see
that's
color.
just where it
Yeah.
stops. People
It's
think
like,
that just
yeah,
because you say,
no.
I don't see
But you
color, that
need
means you're not
to.
racist.
But you need to, dog. Because like
And
Garcelle
you
was
need
telling them on
to.
Beverly Hills, if you don't see that I'm black, you don't see me.
And you don't see my culture, and you don't see the uniqueness of my people contributing to the overall society that we live in. Like,
Right.
while we are all people, we are all uniquely different. And both of those things, like I said before, are true at the same time.
Right.
We are
At the
all
same
an
damn
equal people.
time.
Huh?
Period. I said at the same damn time. Period.
At the same time, because we're all an equal people, yet we are all uniquely different, so we need to treat each other as such. And we are all he see the thing that people don't necessarily cover when they say we're all created equal is we're all created equal in our differences.
Right.
People leave
That
off that
part.
comma, and we just forget the rest of that. Plus, we also have to remember that when that line was written in the Constitution, black
Oh,
people
we
were only
wasn't
seen as
equal no
two-thirds
way.
human. So we really
Right.
don't
First
want
of
to get into
all.
that.
Right.
So, like, if we really want to talk about all like men are created equal, at the time that was being written, they were speaking for all white men. But
Exactly.
if we're gonna stand in, we want our country to be different, we want our world to be different, because we're not gonna be ignorant enough to think that racism only exists in America. But if we're going to stand in that we want the world to be different, then we need to stand in the fact that we need to take what we were given and grow upon it. Like, yes, we are all created equal, but we also need to acknowledge the different people that are equal that we weren't
Right.
speaking about before.
Right. And that was something that it irked me a bit. I was on a certain live that happened last week where some questionable things were said and some raggedy ass things occurred. And it was like discussing the Real Housewives of Dubai, and it's like, yeah, that's just for
Ah.
entertainment purposes. And I was like, but how are you even entertained? I can't. And if in the back of my mind I'm thinking the government can legally snatch these people out their homes and stone them to death in the middle of the night for who they are,
Mhm.
and people that look like me that happen to be from Africa get their passports snatched and they make $200 a month,
Mhm.
there's no way that my spirit is going to let me be comfortable and delighted to watch you throwing around your Birkins and then me see a black person come in and serving you food and me thinking, are they one of the people that's getting paid $200 and got their passport taken? Or you having a conversation with your makeup artist who's clearly gay, thinking, damn, like, is he scared that they're gonna come snatch him up in the middle of the like, I can't. Entertainment purposes or not, I can't.
That's my thought process. But see, the thing is, and I'm not talking about um the live that you're talking about, because I think I know what you're talking about, and I don't want to make it about that because
Go
it
there.
has
Yeah.
because the opinions spread beyond that, like more than just those people have those opinions, right? And while I try to be understanding of people wanting certain television shows to be an escape,
Right.
that's not necessarily what the Real Housewives was built on. um in a way, while it was built, like there's two like there's two sides of it. It was
Right.
built to show
There's
affluence, but it
that
was
duality
also built
again.
to
Yeah.
show the uniqueness of certain areas,
Right.
right? So it would be hard to do a show, like I said, do a show in Atlanta and not talk about racism when the community is predominantly black and we're the ones who are going through this. Like, it would be we would have looked at Atlanta crazy if they were filming in the midst of the protests and Black Lives Matter and the Breonna
Right.
Taylor cases, and no one talked about it.
Right.
We would be looking at the show crazy. So my point was that, or rather, my point is, because I don't want to make it about just one time I've stated it, because I want to make clear again. I want to make clear, I have no hate for anyone. I'm not upset with anyone. There is no shade. There is no beef. I do not think negatively about anybody,
Right.
regardless of any type of disagreement that I've had. I just felt like there was a bigger conversation that needed to be had that I was not allowed to have. So I decided to come here and do it. Right?
Right.
Now, with that being said, my point was, it's not like I'm saying don't have a show there. All I'm saying is I don't understand how you can shoot in a place where these things are happening and not acknowledge them. It's like, how can you shoot in downtown Los Angeles and not acknowledge homelessness?
Right. Like
Do you
the
get what I mean?
duality of
How
it is
like how could you shoot in the
part of
Bible Belt
it.
and not talk about racism? Like, it's those type of things. So it, to me, I just wanted to drive home that point, and that's really all it is for me.
Yeah. I mean,
Regardless
like
of
you said, the
where that point or that opinion goes from here, that is what I meant. Regardless, it really has nothing to do with where I stated that opinion, because I would have had that opinion whether I stated it where I stated it or not.
right.
So that is not the thing. At the end of the day, that is a positive platform, and it is what it is, and there's no shade, no hate. It's always going to be all love.
Right.
But I needed to have a greater conversation about that. And maybe certain places just aren't the forum to have that certain conversation, right? That doesn't make that forum bad. Just
Right.
because that forum doesn't have that specific conversation doesn't necessarily mean that that forum is bad. It just means that you need to have that conversation somewhere else. And that is what I'm trying to navigate with moving forward, is that there is no negativity in disagreement, right? As long as we can agree to
Right.
disagree and move on and just keep it pushing, then there is a way to continue in having a positive dialogue with the people who you're interacting with. Do you get what I mean?
Yes, like I said, you can disagree without being disagreeable, which I feel
100%.
like that was kind of a catalyst for it to be with you. All right, at some point we're gonna have to talk about some duality and we're gonna have to look at all the sides of some shit. Cause
Yeah.
if all you want to talk about is the hee hee and ha ha and yeah and hee hee and girl yes bitch work, that's one side of it. That's cool. I enjoy that too. However, comma,
Hmm.
when are we gonna talk about the rest of it?
Yeah.
Ain't nobody gonna talk. Okay, bet.
Yeah.
Jordan's gonna
And
talk about that shit. Then you're welcome. Hello, good
and
morning.
I personally feel like that is my mission on YouTube, is to talk about the things and have the conversations that people don't necessarily want to talk about. But before I expound on that, there's something else that jumped into the room. I'm going to bring up Miss Ebony Dix really quick to join the conversation, and then we're gonna exchange for just a bit, and then I'm gonna get off of here because I'm starving and I don't want y'all to hear my stomach all through the YouTube streets. Huh? Wait a minute, what? Hold on, girl, because I'm bringing you up anyway. Hey, girl, what's up?
I was
What
gonna
were
say
you
not to
saying?
cut
I'm
me off if you
sorry.
have to go. Just
No,
because I
you're fine. Because I
um
really wanted to stay on for at least to just get to the 2 hour mark, just so it can be even numbers. Because I'm just weird like that.
yes,
So go ahead,
you
babe.
have yes, your lives are definitely extensive. And I'm like, I try to get on. I'm like, I have other things to do. I'm like, I'm trying to get on and but I like your conversations because you bring up logical conversations. And I do like that you're spinning your topics to be more social as well as more conversational. And like you said, I'm not trying to be like with any like hate speech. So, but I was
Yeah.
going to just say this because I think that it was important for us to bring that to reality TV, right? This is what we're watching.
Hmm.
Really kind of we missed the point of reality TV when I know you don't want to talk about this subject comes to housewives, meaning but we missed it when it comes to Vanderpump Rules, not talking about the lives of um the LBTG community, because I'm from the like I come from the I would guess you would say very, very, very conservative Christian lifestyle, very conservative. Like I still have questions for people who are different from me, and I don't want people to be like upset when I ask questions, and I do the best I can to be like to say it the correct way. And I'm learning. I am learning so much, and it's all from a lot from reality TV. And I think that they missed a mark from the Vanderpump Rules, from Beverly Hills, because that is a lot of lifestyle there, and it's most New York. We missed the mark of showing me a different lifestyle or a different period in Atlanta. They should have shown me Atlanta has a big, huge gay community, as well as when we're doing BLM. They had a time to show us what it is in reality. And they took Portia's story and made it, they laughed at it, it was like they were laughing at it. Like, I get she was a reality TV star, but she also is a human being. And someone says we are human. But I think that they didn't use that platform to help us understand more. And of course, so we're trying to educate each other. And I like what you're doing. And I love that you're trying to educate your audience, and anyone who's joining your audience, who's maybe not a subscriber just yet. You're trying to help people understand that there's a conversation to talk about logically. And I really appreciate that, because honestly, I just get so confused. I get lost. And I want people to do the best they can to help me understand, because if not, then I'm coming with my own understanding. And that's not always great, because I'm just like, well, that's their lifestyle, or I don't understand what's happening. And even though I have members in my family who are part of a community, I just don't get, because they don't get my community either. People don't get the asexual community either. So, but I really appreciate that you came up with this conversation. And I look forward to your more conversations that you have. I look for your titles. I really do look for your titles that you have. I look for you to tweet them out. And so just keep up the great work. But yeah, that's what I just came on to say. It wasn't nothing really profound, but just said it.
Thank you so much.
But
I really appreciate you.
I hope you have a great meal today. And anyone who comes on this live, Jordan, you are really pouring out information for us to feel good. And I'm glad, like everyone says, a safe space to talk about. And now people don't drag me, because I'm not the greatest when it comes to I don't know, to talk, but I just want to be educated properly, and just to know that I know there is more people than straight people, or people who are part of a very conservative Christian community like LDS. That's the type of lifestyle I live is LDS, which just means like you live a very Christian lifestyle. Like we don't even vote. I don't even vote. That's how strict I live. So, but that's just my lifestyle. So
yeah. It's
not wrong. It's just not other people's lifestyle. So,
right.
Yeah. But I really am grateful for your audience, and as well as your platform, for us to come and talk on this. So that's all I'm saying.
Thank you so much, love.
I'll see your title soon. Yes.
See you soon, love. I really appreciate you. Wow. I'm never gonna get used to that. I'm never going to get used to that. Ever.
Oh, you better grow up and get used to it, because you gonna keep getting it, and it's gonna keep being we appreciate you and we love you and you're helpful and I love this channel and I dig your content, and this is my escape. Like, you gonna get that from a lot of people, where this is my safe space. Yeah, I can't say this because I got this job, or yeah, I can't say this because I feel threatened in this particular environment, or yeah, I can't act this way over here because I'm gonna get this reaction. And I can come here and I can be me, and I can say what I need to say without judgment and without fear and without mockery, and with understanding and love and acceptance. And that's it. You created that. Pat yourself on the back.
Thank you. I think for me, I don't do these things with my own acknowledgement in mind. I think I do it because there's a greater conversation that needs to be had, and I never think about people acknowledging me as a facilitator of said conversation. I think I always just try to be the person to usher in the conversations that I personally feel like need to be had, or I see that excuse me, that the world needs to be having, that we're all having in private, but nobody's having these conversations publicly. Like, there are certain conversations, like I would love to have a conversation with a white person about what was going around your kitchen table during the protest of BLM. What were your family talking about? Like, I know y'all saw it on the news. I know that you saw, like, I know that you understand what was happening. What were y'all's discussions, and were you confused? Do you have any questions? Like, what did you want to learn? Did it make you want to learn more about my people? I would love to have that conversation with a straight person or a cis person. Like, I specifically want to have this conversation with a cis Black woman, because one thing that I've noticed, that me as a trans person, I get the majority of my backlash, or the majority of my hesitation, or the majority of my pushback as an individual from cis Black women. And I want to have that conversation. Like, I
Oh
really want to
man, I'm
facilitate that
sorry.
type of conversation. Hmm?
I just said, oh man, I'm sorry. I see so much of that, and it's like, for what though, bitch? Like what? And I think it's kind of,
That's a
I
conversation that
know
I'm
it's
going to have when I
definitely
do.
based
Huh?
in misogynoir. I know it's based in a little bit of racism, that crab in the barrel. It ain't enough room for all of us. So now I see you taking my spot, and I need to bring you down because of that. And well, shit, it already ain't enough men for women out there, period. So now you finna take some of them too. So now I'm mad. It's like, no, get out that mindset. Like, if they want Jordan, they wouldn't have wanted you no way. Sit your ass down and chill out. Like, nothing is being taken from you. Your light is not being dimmed
Sorry about that.
because you're helping somebody else shine their light brightly.
Thank you.
So
I
like,
really appreciate you,
I
babe.
I definitely notice what you're talking about.
Mm.
So I get what you're talking about, but I don't know why the fuck. I don't know. I want to have that conversation with you and with another cis woman and be like, "What, bitch? What the fuck is wrong with you?"
I would love to. I don't know any cis women who are willing to probably come on my channel and actually have that conversation, but I am going to touch on that when I do my recap of Just Lauren. Cuz episode 2 or 3 really touches on, I think it's episode 2, because I have to catch up on the third episode, but I'm going to do a live where I recap both of the episodes together, and I'm going to talk about it because that specific topic came up in that episode. So if anybody is watching or this, go watch Just Lauren as well too. It's on YouTube. It's a reality show that's on YouTube, and it's about a woman who came from another reality show on the same YouTube channel, and now it's following her journey of transition as she tries to figure out how she's going to bring her family along, if they're going to come along, how she's going to reconcile all of these things. She's really diving into her transition and being serious about it. So we're basically following her transition journey, and it's something that I really want to talk about because I'm going along the ride with her in a very different way, mind you. But
Yeah,
I am going along the ride with her. But with that being said, I actually really do have to go because I have to pick up my kid from school, and my stomach is louder than my voice at this point.
grab the princess, grab you some food. Thank you for allowing me to share with you today, and thank you for this channel. You are forever appreciated.
Thank you so much, babe. And hit me in the DMs, girl. Girl, if you want to keep chatting, girl, you know where to find me. We on Twitter, so
I got you. We see each
hit me up,
other.
babe. We see each, okay? Period. All right, baby. I will talk to you soon, and thank you so much for calling in again.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
love. I'm gonna talk to you
Bye,
soon.
baby gorgeous.
Bye, baby gorgeous. Oh my goodness. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really have to get going now for real. But thank you guys for tuning in to Justifiably Jordan. I hope that all the tea that I poured on self-love, self-accountability, and self-awareness was entertaining for you, and all of the analysis and empathy that I tried to give to the situation on both sides was entertaining for you. And I hope that my opinions justified why you should go and research more for yourself and go get to know somebody that you didn't think that you would get along with. Okay? I am your host, Jordan Renee, and I want to thank you for taking the time, feeling the vibe, and having a seat with me. It means everything to me. Thank you all for all the love. You guys are amazing, and I really appreciate every single one of you who come through. I kind of just pop up and do a lot of these lives last minute, so I thank you for giving me any time that you can afford me. I love every single one of you, and I'll talk to y'all soon. I may go live later tonight. I may just wait till tomorrow, but either way, make sure you tune into Pepper LaBeja's birthday ball tomorrow. I'm doing that at noon. And we're just going to be celebrating the life of Pepper LaBeja on Pepper LaBeja's actual birthday. I was going to do it today and then just do a commemorative pre-record and just sit and cry to Paris is Burning and How Do I Look All Day. But I'll do it all on the actual day, and we're gonna talk about it. And then I may get another live going about social media sometime after that. So I will holler at you guys soon. I love you all and be amazing. Bye, baby gorgeous.